Everybody was waiting to see on Sunday morning that Jeff Zients for the administration, the guy who President Obama said, it's your job, fix this website. They said they would have it fixed by November 30. And Jeff Zients said, we've made a lot of progress. It's 95% complete, or working
95% of the time.
Up to 95% of the time. And yesterday, Jay Carney told us that on Monday morning, they had seen a lot of interest.
By noon today, 375,000 visitors to the site.
Visitors, not necessarily signed up, but visitors to the site. A lot of those were journalists. Some of those were. So, mission accomplished?
I think getting to mission accomplished, or getting to a point where they can claim that the law is working. I think at this point, the definition of success has really changed. If you talk to the administration back in September, before the rollout, They would tell you, we're going to have 7 million people by the end of 2014. That's what the Congressional Budget Office projected, and that's kind of what they were shooting for. Now the definition of success is, as long as you can get enough young and healthy people into the risk pool to maintain market stability so that premiums don't get all out of whack in 2015, that's success. And they're moving in that direction. The user interface seems to be functioning well. I mean, there are still problems. People are still facing errors, but some 80% who log onto the website are able to go from beginning to end without any problems.
It is smoother. More people are getting in. And there's this extra little feature now that if they can't handle you at that given time, they'll tell you you're in the queue, basically, right?
You're in this waiting room, and then you're called when there's room.
And we'll send you an email when we can. That's just like basically a doctor's office,
yes,
right? When your turn is up.
Yeah. But the problem, though, still in terms of the site is on the back end. There are insurers who say that the information they're receiving daily in terms of who enrolled and what kind of coverage they chose, these are so-called 834 transmission forms, that they still contain errors. There's duplicates. There's just erroneous information. The administration announced yesterday that about 80% of the problem was resolved through a fix they did, but there's still some issues, and insurers are naturally worried because you have 3 weeks until December 23rd. That's the last day you can buy coverage until it kicks in January 1st. So there's a tight window, and you have this rush of people after the holidays trying to buy coverage, both meet the mandate and because, they want insurance. They've been uninsured for so long. And the question moving forward in the days and weeks ahead is, will the website hold the traffic? And will enough people kind of sign up, and the right people, in terms of young and healthy people, sign up to make this whole thing hold?
Now, I'm just looking here online to the Hill website. Pardon me.
For X out of Think Progress, go to the Hill, yes.
For my column this morning, okay?
Yeah.
The headline of which is, "No Excuse for Bad Rollout." And here's the question I ask in this column. Given the fact that this is the president's number one legislative priority, right? Given the fact that millions of people depend, in order to be able to buy health insurance, on this thing working, I mean, you can just there was so much at stake here. Given the fact that that I guess people's belief that government can do anything right, was almost on the line as well. Given all that was at stake here, and given the fact they had 3 years to get it right, is there any excuse for the fact that they launched this thing without obviously doing all of their homework?
There really isn't. You read some of the accounts in terms of what went wrong, and you can point your finger at the contractor, at the administration, at all kinds of people. And it's really hair-raising, the level of incompetence, the fact that they were months before launch and contractors were telling them they were behind schedule, and they were pushing ahead, and they were delaying key decisions because they were afraid that it would get tied into the 2012 election. And just a real mess from both ends. And the fact that, frankly, the president wasn't on top of this, the fact that his team didn't have a single person spearheading and managing the effort, is a real failure, frankly.
With all these different
with all of these government agencies.
Not to mention the state insurance commissioners, plus the insurance companies, right? All of these different people involved. You needed one person who was like the systems coordinator. I think that's what they call it. And they didn't have one.
Yeah, a decision was made at one point, early after the law was passed in 2010, that the people who are going to be heading up implementation are going to be the policy people who designed and helped pass the law. And that appears to be a key mistake, that if he had someone whose main responsibility was to coordinate this thing, brought someone in with managerial experience, we could have been in a very different place today.
Why hasn't anybody been fired?
I think they are very focused on making sure this thing works. Certainly now that they...
if this happened in the private sector, right?
Yeah, people would be gone. I think they felt that because of the filibuster, if they fired someone, they would have never been able to replace that person. Now that they deployed the nuclear option, it's a lot easier to get rid of certain people, to confirm new hires into those positions. I think that's coming down the line. But look, I think it's smart to make sure the website works, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Accountability is certainly important. I think they'll get to that. I think a lot of heads are going to have to roll over this. But now that they're kind of on track to success, all of the people who made a lot of those key decisions, I think, are shaking in their boots now, knowing that something's probably coming down the pipe.
So now we're saying, let's get it fixed.